Today here on All In, we're going to be talking with a guest whose business is quite simple. Her business is there to make sure that people are taken care of. They can be taken care of as individuals or as business owners as well. And anybody who their sole business is to take care of other people is certainly at the top of our list here on All In. The name of the company today we're going to be speaking with is In Good Hands, and the owner, Lisa Schnitzer, our guest right here. Hey, Lisa, how are you today? Great to see you.
Good to see you too, Bryan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's back up just a little bit, if I may. Before In Good Hands started, give us a little bit about your background, what you were doing to lead you where you are today.
I was in the corporate world for all of my career, managing other people's businesses, making sure their offices were taking care of the details of people's businesses. And in doing so, the last 15 years, I managed a very busy litigation law firm. And if you know anything about law offices, it's kind of like a 24/7 business. And I loved what I did. But after 15 years, I decided to execute the bucket list and go off on my own.
Well, good for you. I'm going to back up here just a little bit. If you were in there trying to keep things organized for 15 years in a big litigation firm, you're pretty much like a ringmaster at the circus, keeping everybody rolling because there's so much activity going on. I applaud you for being able to do that. So let's come up here where we are today, In Good Hands. You obviously have a great deal of skills, a big skill set that you put together over all those years in the corporate world. How have you been able to turn that into a business? Who do you work with today and what can you do for them?
I work with a wide variety of people. So my claim to fame is the details. I take apart the details, figure out what's wrong, and help you build it back in the best way with best practices. And a lot of people don't even know that they actually need that until someone might say, hey, you're successful, but your processes to get there are really falling behind. So I work with all kinds of businesses, single business owners, small to mid-sized businesses, on helping them redo their processes. I make sure they have the right people doing the right jobs. I make sure their phones are answered correctly. There is no detail too small for me. And I get in there and roll up my sleeves, and we draw on whiteboards, and we draw on giant Post-its, and we drill down to the tiniest detail about the business, see where the holes are, and bring it back up. So that is one huge segment of my business.
Hey, Lisa, I want to make sure everybody understands too. Your business, you don't just lock into just one industry. The talents, the skills that you have, they're universal. I mean, you can work with a variety of businesses. Fair enough?
I can. I've worked with many different industries, almost never a repeat. Because someone will just meet me and say, hey, I had a friend that just said, my processes really suck. Can somebody help me come in and figure out how to redo all this so everything flows well? And it's really, I end up learning a lot about each industry, but it doesn't really matter what it is. I just drill down to the smallest denominator and bring it back up.
Well, a big thing that you bring to the table that people need to realize is this. They only know about their business. They only know, a lot of times you can't see the forest for the trees. I mean, they might even know they even have any problems. But someone like yourself, who's been doing this so long before you had your business, and certainly now, you have worked with a variety of businesses. So if I bring you in, immediately you're going to say, oh yeah, this reminds me of the time I worked with so-and-so. Step aside, here's how we can fix it. Fair?
Yes, that's true. That's true. Because in the end, it's really about the basics, and best practices are best practices for any business. Like I say, I make it my business to learn all about their industry. And then once I've gotten the basics on that, it's all about their individual company, whether it be time management. Often it's time management, but often it's they have the wrong employees in the wrong job. And people think it's weird that I love these kind of details, but I absolutely, totally do. And I love digging in with everybody.
Well, and you absolutely have the type of deal that's far-reaching, can help everyone. You can also help people when they're in a divorce situation. Talk to me about these concierge services for divorce people. I've never heard of such a thing. What does that entail?
Most people have not heard of that. And I feel like I kind of made this up, born out of the fact that when I got a divorce many years ago, I was floundering, really didn't have any family to support me. I had to do it myself. I had to figure out all the details myself. I had to figure out how to support myself. And so I said at the time, which never dreaming it would become part of my business, that if I could ever give back in this way and support someone else, that I would do it. Lo and behold, so many years later, I actually sit down with people in their homes and I understand the level of emotion that comes with it, but I try and get them to put that aside for a moment, try and help them gain a little self-empowerment back. And we literally go through every piece of paperwork that has to be provided, answered, and given back to the attorney, all the professionals in the financial world, their realtors that are helping them. And most people find this is really an amazing bit of help that they didn't even know existed. How do I do that when I don't even know the people? It doesn't matter. I understand the circumstance. I've been in law. I understand the terminology. I help them not be afraid of, what does this question mean? You know, they might be afraid to ask someone else. I don't even understand what this means. How can I answer it? So I help them with that as well. I help them. I work a lot with seniors who don't have a lot of experience on the computer, and I help them recreate a lot of the paperwork that needs to be done. Lots of details.
You know, Lisa, going back to the divorce concierge services, first of all, yes, I have not heard of that before. And as you mentioned, a lot of people haven't. But unfortunately, a lot of people have been through divorces. There's certainly no people who have. And if you've been there, you understand it's a whole new world. And it's nice to have someone like you that can help people. And I have to think the fact that you've been through it yourself has to give you a certain degree of relatability, if you will. People can relate to you because you probably share parts of your story and immediately they realize, wow, she's been there. She kind of feels what I'm going through. Does that help you out building the confidence in them that you know what you're doing?
Absolutely. There has to be a trust factor almost immediately with the people I work with so that we can jump in and get things done. And so I think they understand that I'm very earnest and sincere when I say I've been there. I've been through child custody. I understand these things and I feel for you, but I'm going to get you to work and I'm going to get you the answers that you need.
Outstanding. You know, you've mentioned a couple of times and you had a long career working with law offices yourself. You still work with referrals today, if you will, for attorneys, but a lot of it is for estate resolution. Touch on that just a little bit. How can you help people out there?
Well, that's a good question. From the divorce concierge, I got requests from other people, from living relatives of people who had loved ones who passed away, who go searching for the same types of documents, the same types of proof that they have to use to get their estate completed. So I'm a detective. I've gone through hundreds of boxes looking for the will of the deed of trust for the house. So again, I'm down to the details that I need to help these people provide so they can move on with their process. And I love doing that as well because a lot of times the children of someone who've passed on don't live here and they need a liaison of someone who's on the ground that can physically go to the home, go through the papers, searching for the details. That's what I do.
Well, Lisa, I must say, just in the limited time that we've been together today, I absolutely understand how you named your company In Good Hands because of all the things that you do for people. If people can get there with you, they're truly going to be in good hands because you're just a good person first and foremost, but you're a good person with a great deal of experience in a variety of fields, personally and professionally, and all that has fit together very well to get you in this business that you're in today. And I just appreciate you sharing your story with us today. And again, folks, you want to be in good hands, this is a great place to start. Lisa Schnitzer right here on our show. Thanks for all you do. We appreciate you. We wish you continued success. Take care.